Building teaches you more about people than it ever teaches you about business. What people say matters far less than how they act when things are uncertain. Misaligned talent slows you down more than average aligned people ever will. Most conflict in building isn't about strategy, it's about fear. Building isn't just about creating something new, it's about seeing people, including yourself, more clearly. 皆さんおはよう. This is Hana. This episode is a very personal one. When people talk about building companies, they usually focus on products, funding, strategy, or growth. But after years of working closely with founders and teams, I've realized something. Building teaches you more about people than it ever teaches you about business. Not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, sometimes very uncomfortable way. Today, I want to share what I've learned about people, not from theory, but from actually working alongside them. One of the first lessons being a builder teaches you is this. What people say matters far less than how they act when things are uncertain. When everything is going well, most people look aligned. They say the right thing, they agree on values, but pressure changes behavior. Deadlines, money stress, reputation risk. That's when you see what people actually prioritize. Some people get clearer, some get defensive, some disappear, some try to control everything. None of this is good or bad, but it's just human. As a builder, you learn to stop being surprised by this and start designing around it. Early on, it's attempting to chase the smartest people, the most impressive CVs, the loudest opinions, the fattest talker. But over time, realize something very simple. Misaligned talent slows you down more than average aligned people ever will. Alignment doesn't mean agreement on everything. It means similar risk tolerance, similar work ethic, similar definition of done. When alignment is missing, every decision becomes heavy. You spend more time managing emotions than building. This is why some small teams outperform much larger ones. Not because they're smarter, but because they're pulling in the same direction. One thing building really teaches you is that nobody shows up neutral. People bring past failures, past betrayals, past wins, past trauma. Someone who's been burned before sees a risk everywhere. Someone who's had an early success underestimates difficulty. Someone who's never had ownership struggles with responsibility. Understanding this changes how you communicate. Instead of reacting emotionally, you start to ask, where is this reaction coming from? That question alone prevents a lot of unnecessary conflicts. Early on, many founders think trust comes from vision and communication. Those matter, but they're not enough. Trust is built through consistent patterns. Doing what you say you will do, showing up when it's uncomfortable, making fair decisions even when no one is watching. People don't trust you because you sound confident. They trust you because you're predictable in the right ways. And once trust is broken, no amount of explanation fixes it. This is why small action matters so much in early teams. A big realization for me was this. Most conflict in building isn't about strategy. It's about fear. Fear of losing relevance. Fear of being blamed. Fear of missing out. Fear of being wrong publicly. Once you see this, argument sounds different. What looks like aggression is often anxiety. What looks like stubbornness is often insecurity. That doesn't mean you avoid hard conversations, but you approach them with more clarity and less ego. The hardest lesson building teaches you isn't about others, it's about yourself. How do you react when things doesn't work? When people disappoint you? When plans fall apart? Do you become reactive? Do you withdraw? Do you over-control? Building exposes your defaults. And once you see them, you can choose whether to keep them or change them. So if there's one takeaway from this episode, is this. Building isn't just about creating something new. It's about seeing people, including yourself, more clearly. The better you understand people, the fewer surprises you face, and the calmer you become as a leader. That clarity compounds over time. Thank you for listening. I'll share more as I go. See you in the next one. Bye.